Hello YouTube and welcome back. It's me Fruitguru and I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've kind of wrapped up all the event stuff that's expiring after today, and I hope you're all ready for a week of suffering with the new raid grind. I know I am not. Anyway, having said that, we're going to move on to today's topic, and that's Ildyra in live PvP. And this has actually been kind of difficult to shoot because I've actually been trying to find opponents at this time of the day that are kind of a challenge where we can actually showcase something. So it's my third time recording this because I can't seem to find anyone decent. And I have people who just kind of quit and stuff, which is, says a good thing about the team, but it's frustrating when you're trying to actually do a video. So anyway, as we touched on yesterday's video, where we took her into Ildyra into Arena, I kind of said that she's good at Arena, like really good, but where she really shines is live PvP. And what I'm hoping to show you today is kind of how her kit can be used manually and how borderline obnoxious it is to play against. I do want to apologise for my squeaky chair again. I still haven't got any oil to sort that out, so if I move around it's going to be a bit frustrating. Bear with me. But yeah, we'll take a kind of jump in and see what we're using. So what we are actually back to is a double gunner comp here. And just to give you some history, when this first was accessible, live PvP was a joke because you just stomped everything. The only thing that would really beat you was a mirror matchup, and it became a game of reflex then. Whoever reflexed most won the match. But then kind of new units came out, like you had Miranda and Victoria. And Victoria is a really hard gunner counter, specifically towards Lucia, who's going to be your main carry. And what would happen is a good player would get Victoria into position, followed by like a Miranda or a Phoebe or something even, and they'd quicken the Victoria, allowing her to take another turn and just get right up in your face and destroy you. The lost condition when you're running double gunner is essentially the enemy team makes it over to you, and once they've made it over to you, it's kind of GG unless you get some lucky reflexes or something. So basically, you want to be kind of kiting back or just not letting them even get close to you. And typically, this double gunner comp team would be run with. I saw a lot of Ayakas, and I actually ran Ayaka myself with them. And this would give you like a little bit of heals if you did get caught out of position, or you'd have the full life to bring them back. But again, the problem is if they closed in on you, they could kind of kill you all very quickly. And because Ayaka is wind element as well, she was also susceptible to Victoria's AoE destruction. So the build kind of fell out of, or the comp kind of fell out of favor for a while, and I've been seeing less and less double gunner comps. But I think with the release of Ildyra, you're going to see a lot of double gunner comps again run with her, and I'm going to show you why. So, as I said in my last video, if you didn't see it and you're interested in Arena, give it a watch. But Ildyra is very comparable in PvP to Ayaka, in that she has lots of the instant ult-like or limit burst-like heals. But really, the strongest parts of her kit, arguably, are her own limit burst, which is essentially like an AoE quicken, and if used right, you can get pretty much 4 sharp shots off back to back, depending on what you're against. CT average, which this is basically the skill that allows us to get out of jail if the enemy team gets in close to us, because this will allow us, because we're running, running ahead of myself, because we're running gunners, we have very high agility, most likely higher agility than a lot of our enemies, unless they're super whales, right? So how this works is it averages out all the CT in the box. So you try and clip your double gunners in here along with a couple of enemies, and what will happen is they'll all get the same CT, but because your agility is higher, you're going to take the turn first. So you have to play around with it a little bit, but it's not too hard to proc off, and nobody at the moment really expects this. The amount of people who run in and got caught in this little trap is outstanding, so I really like it. And then High 3 Disable, this is another kind of really nice card. It's got skill. It's got a really long range on it, and it's an AoE disable. So any teams with high fate are very susceptible to this, and this is a 3-turn you can't do anything except for run away. Because we're running gunners, we want them to be running away because we have such range on them that then by the time the disable ends, they have to run all the way back. So it puts them in a really, really difficult position. And generally when I get this off, I find that I get the enemy to surrender pretty much straight away because they realize that they're just kind of wasting everybody's time. So that's why we run her as an arithmetician. And just also worth noting, we have a Kaleido Moon on her. And this, if your gear and cards were really, really good, you may not need this, but I love this for the extra AP gain. I love this for the attack buff that we get. And just all in all, it's a really nice piece of gear. I'm not really going to mention too much else. As you can see, we actually don't have proficiency with this yet. I can't work on that too much because I'm trying to keep her level at 87. And the reason why, again, we're keeping her level at 87 is because it actually boosts her limit burst if her level is divisible by 3. I can't 5 shard her yet, so this is the highest level you can get on 4 shards that'll allow you to get this bonus. So if you do get her to 87 and you're still farming for the last shards, try and keep her at this if you're interested in live PvP. It doesn't really matter if you're just using her in arena or PvE content, to be honest, because it's kind of wasted there because she uses it on the first turn, so you can't do any fancy kind of shenanigans with it. But for this, you definitely want to keep it around that. So what we'll do is we'll go into our free match, and I'll skip for the most part most of these setups and take you right into the arena, but I just want to talk about initial placement really quickly. And this is something that a load of people need to do because even at the bracket I'm at, which isn't the highest bracket, but I think it's the second highest bracket where the majority of non-whales are going to be, nobody seems to really do this, and it kind of screws you over. So what I like to do is, in this comp, I put Lucia out the furthest, and I put Frederica behind her, and this is because Frederica has +1 range, which Lucia doesn't, so it's essentially like they're standing on the same square, and this will allow us to get a quick snipe out on the unit here if they're a squishy, and basically win the game on the first turn. So Ildyra as well, we just put her behind the pillar here, if the emulator will let us click in the right square. And that's basically, we get our affinity bonus then, and it's just nice. It's a nice little safe corner. You know, you can get really bad in RNG where a Mediana will position herself right opposite you, but there's nothing you can do about that, you know? That's just the luck of the draw. But I haven't seen that. I've probably seen that happen to me once in my entire time playing this game mode. So what I'll do is I'm going to just pause till we're into the battle so you don't have to wait here, so we'll be right back. Okay, so we're against a Victoria comp here, and this typically would be my absolute worst nightmare to fight against because she was like the ultimate counter, as I was talking about just a few minutes ago. But I'm not too worried now because unless they have something really, really obnoxious, maybe a Miranda could still screw us over, we should be able to have some kind of element of counterplay here, I'm hoping. So we'll just see what we're kind of dealing with. I'm kind of interested to see what's forced them. So they have a Mediana, and they do have the Miranda Quicken. So it's a little bit nasty, but we should be okay. So typically what we would do is we'd go out and we'd snipe. I just want to see if I can kill the Miranda because no, I can't. So I don't want to rush forward because Mediana is an absolutely massive threat, and I also have to be really conscious that she's not going to buff. She's not going to buff with speed straight away and get up in our face. So I think I'm going to back off as far as I can and just put a bit of distance between us. And I think I have to like presume that my enemy is quite good here because like I'm looking at their team, you know, they're kind of, they've obviously put a bit of thought into the mechanics, I'm guessing. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to probably skip my turn on glasses here, Ildyra, and I'm going to try and disable the Mediana, or maybe even kill her if I can before she gets that Cosmo plume off, because that's their win condition. I'm going to imagine it anyway. Right. So, yeah, this isn't looking too nice. What we could try to do, I don't know if I can get the disable off from here. I can, but it still leaves us in trouble with Mediana, so we won't do that. What we'll do is we'll play it safe, and we'll do a... Do you know what we'll do? Because I think this is actually going to shut them down in their tracks. I'm actually going to use the theorem here. And the reason why I'm going to use the theorem is because this is going to pump up our CT, and we might be able to get our turns out before they manage to get the quicken. And this is a little bit of an experimental move. I don't know if this is going to be optimal play here, but we're going to try it anyway. So yeah, we should now be able to act before her quicken goes off and before the Mediana can kill us. I'm hoping. Here's to hoping. And by herself, Miranda's not too scary, especially because we don't actually have to charge any of our magics. But they're playing this in a strange way. I thought they would have kind of rushed us, but maybe this has kind of screwed up their plans. And if so, happy days. And I'm really curious to see what the Miranda's going to actually do here. What I do actually have, because I normally play very aggressive at the start, I'm low on AP, but it might be on the cards to get a cheeky little barrage off from Frederica. And this isn't a particularly high evade based team, so normally I play it really, really cautiously, and I generally only sharp shot because a random evade can just absolutely bugger you up. But I think in this case we're gonna try. Oh my god, sorry, I can't control the blue stacks very well. So what happens if we do this? We can try take her out. And if we land a crit... that's a bit annoying. But I guess what the big thing here now is we want to just kind of scatter our units a little bit. And we'll just take her out. Oh, there we go. Jeez, that was a big crit. Unfortunately, my Lucia doesn't get to go ahead of my Frederica, and I think I'm going to play around with that a little bit more. But for now, we'll just we'll put this over here. And there's nothing we can really do. Oh, we never used Luna Verde, so that's actually a perfect time to get this out. I want to be a little bit careful. I don't want to... okay, so we're only actually going to use it on Lucia, because I don't want to get too bunched, just in case anything happens. Because I never built Victoria, I'm always unsure of exactly how big her jumps are and whatnot. So yeah, here we go. I think if we put her in there, we could have been in trouble. And we could very easily lose this, by the way, because I was a bit of a dum-dum with predicting what they were going to do. But that's okay. So they do get the buff. And if Mediana bunches up here, I'm actually going to go for the disable, but it looks like she's going to Cosmo Plume us, and she's probably going to get the two gunners caught in the crossfire. My Lucia will definitely die from this. However, Frederica probably will as well, to be honest, but we'll see. If we could land a double disable, we might be able to just holy our way to victory. Okay, so we've lost the Lucia. Now, typically with the Ayaka at this point, I would be kind of like GG. But I'm not too worried this time around because I think we can kind of play around this. So we'll take out the Mediana because even without her ult, she's still kind of scary. And we're just going to back up a little bit here. And we do have to be conscious that we have very low AP. But it's not the end of the world, right? So can we get a disable off? We can. So we're going to chance this. And if we land it, we did. So this is the power of disable. Now I can safely, for 3 turns, generate AP. I don't care what she particularly does for these 3 turns. She can run away. She can try and get into position to do something to me. But yeah, look, I mean, that's not going to save you now, you know. And this is the true power of Ildyra. Just this massive shenanigans to screw people over. So we'll buff up again. And we also have to remember that Ildyra, we have that very, very juicy holy that we're going to be able to drop, and the enemy's not going to be able to do much against it. So I'm actually going to... I don't think I can hit her with anything. We do have very long range, so we might try it. No, that's okay. So let's just skip through and wait. And now she's on her 2nd turn. So she still has another turn of being disabled. And... she's running away. That's fine. You do what you need to do. We'll get down on the step. Or we'll try to get down on the step. Oh my god. Sorry, if I haven't said it 20 times already, I can't deal with this very well. So again, I think at this point we'll use our last big buff just to kind of get the AP stored for the sharp shots. And we'll actually run forward now with our Ildyra. And we're going to really put the pressure on. And they're on a really kind of shitty situation because they're kind of blocked themselves off. They can't obviously stay near me because then the Ildyra and the auto attacks will screw them up. But they also can't, they have run away, but it's really not ideal because, as you can see, they've kind of stuck between a rock and a nuke place. So, but yeah, let's skip through this, and now let's get our Ildyra and just move her up a little bit. And really, actually, at this point, if I wasn't trying to show mechanics, I'd actually just back all the way up myself, and I'd win this due to the health difference, and it would be pretty easy. I mean, there's not much they can do, but I'm just being a little bit silly here, and I want to try and land another disable if possible. And if I do that, then I mean, they should really just GG it. So, let's see. Can we do anything funny here? Again, I have to change the angle. I don't think we can... Can we hit? We can. So, let's try do this. Even if we die, it'll still be funny. So again, another disable. Like, I mean, the proc chance on this is pretty good. And at this point, they're just probably smacking their head. And basically just wondering what they're doing with their life. Okay, so we'll wait here. I actually just want the extra CT at this point, because I want to rush this before she gets to do anything. And we'll see what happens, if they're actually going to move down. Okay, that is fine. So we'll get our first, will we get our first sharp? No, not yet. Nearly. So let's wait. And we'll run in with Ildyra. And what I actually think you might be able to do is, and this is kind of a game mechanic question, but I'm pretty sure you could reapply the disable at this point if you really wanted to. So what I'll actually do is, no, I'll just land the Holy. And as you can see, this does an absolutely frightening amount of damage. And I've got a shitty Esper. So we actually one-shot her. We didn't even need to really fool around with the shenanigans, but I wanted to kind of just show you that. So again, another pretty easy